Hi, how's everyone doing? My name is Tasha. I'm fairly new to the YouTube channel. Um, I've posted a few videos, but I'm still pretty new at this, so bear with me. Um, I've spoken about in previously on some of my other videos. It's been about domestic violence. But today I want to talk more about um, mothers in particular, not the fathers, but the mothers. Because the mothers are the backbone of the family. The mothers are the strength of that child, of that boy, and she's also the wisdom of that little girl. And so many times, children they grow up with a self hatred. And what led me to even bring about this video was the fact that we see more and more of domestic violence with men killing women and their children. And it's not, you have to wonder, well, where did this come from? How did this come about? What was so awful that this person, that it led them to do this? And so when you go back to the actual roots of the problem, a lot of people say, oh, well, he didn't have a father in his life. She didn't have a father figure. And I don't necessarily always think that it's the father figure being in the home or out of the home. Okay? A lot of times, the problem lies when people do not look at the whole child. When a mother looks at their child and they say, oh, well, he will be all right, knowing that he has a mental problem. Okay, and a lot of times children do grow up with mental problems, but they are not properly diagnosed. Why? Because the mother decided to overlook that and say that he'll be all right, he's fine, the kids are going to be kids, but that kid still have to grow up into being an adult. And when you don't give out consequences, you allow your child to do whatever they want to do. Yes, he or she will come out being a monster. And it's not fair to the family. It's not fair to that child. It's not fair to that mother. Because understand that child is a reflection of who you are. You birthed that child, regardless if the father stepped out. You still birthed that child into the world. And that is your responsibility to take care of that child. And the harsh reality is, yes, the father should have, if he wasn't there, the father should have been there. But again, life is kind of like unfair. But at the same time, as being mothers, we have to understand that we owe it to ourselves. We have a responsibility to make sure that our children are safe, not just physically safe, but mentally safe as well. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to our communities. We owe it to our own individual families. And then I think that one of the problems is that you have some parents who keep the tradition of unhealthiness going on down the line. So what happens is that the child, whether boy or girl, gets called ugly, gets called stupid, get your ugly butt in the room, or go take your stupid butt to school. That's why you ain't learning nothing. But the words are shaping a child, and you want to know why they acting up. It's because of your words that you are saying to this child. You can't expect for this child to be smart if you always put them down, him or her. And one of the problems is that these kids are growing up with a lot of self-hatred. They're growing up with lack of confidence, lack of self-esteem, and you're wondering, well, well, my parents they did okay. I did okay. I'm surviving. We all just gonna survive. Instead of saying I want my child to do better than I done and succeed where I went and beyond, and then hopefully their kids will succeed beyond them. There's a problem. Especially within the black community, we don't want to face the fact that our kids may have or may be suffering from some sort of mental disorder. And instead of us, you know, acknowledging it and accepting it and getting it treated, we just say, oh, everybody, there's something wrong with everybody, but everybody is not going around here shooting their own children. Everyone is not going around here shooting their wife or their girlfriend or whatever the case may be. Everyone is not doing that. And you should want your child, I don't care what the other block is doing, you should want your child to be the best. You should want to be proud of your son or your daughter. It's about making sure that you train your child up right. It's time out, I understand that, some young mothers, they like their child to look fly. And that's all good. But making your child look fly and buying them $200 pair of tennis shoes, him or her, and yet you haven't gotten their mentalness checked out, is a problem. It's a problem when they go to school and they don't know their ABCs or how to count or how to do subtractions, and they're in the 5th grade and they still don't know how to add and subtract. But yet they have on them $200 shoes. They don't know how to clean up, but they know every word to different rap songs. That's a problem. And it's a problem especially in the black community. We have to do better. We must do better for our kids. Not for just because, we as a society, but for our own kids. We have to do better. We have to start teaching our children. We have to start acknowledging, and that means that we have to want to know more about the different mental issues or whatever the case may be. That means us as parents, we have to be willing to learn more. We can't always just go through life with this one-sided thinking. Because if you go through life with this one-sided thinking or this one-track mind, then guess what? You're not going to be able to teach your child anything. Because you're just with this one-track mind. The blame game as well is another problem that the black community have. Oh, well, he didn't have a father in his life. Oh, well, things happen, Everyone has a mental problem. Everybody dealing with something. It's time out for the excuses now. We're living in a time now to where black men are actually killing their wives and their children. They're killing them. Why? Because of hidden anger. Why? Because they done got slapped, they done got hit, they done got told that they were stupid, dumb. Some men are even raped or molested as a child, and the parent won't acknowledge it. Okay? You have women out here, young women, and some older women. Okay? I'm just going to keep it real. This is a time that we need to keep it real. It's not about sparing people's feelings. It's about making sure that we are educated enough and woman enough to accept our wrong. Because if you're going to have kids, and maybe you may not have been prepared. Okay, that's the first thing. Maybe we were not always prepared for a child. We may not have been prepared financially, mentally, or emotionally. Maybe the father did walk out. Maybe something had happened to the point to where you thought it would last forever. Okay, or maybe you were just friends with benefits and you wasn't trying to get pregnant, but you ended up getting pregnant anyway. Okay, but the child is here. The problem is when young parents, they don't want to do better. And what end up happening is that you're raising a child and you're sowing those seeds of disappointment, of angerness, of bitterness. And how he sees himself is the reflection of what you put in him or her. When you call them stupid, when you degrade them, when you call them ugly, when you don't try to build their self-esteem up, when you try to work with them on their homework and say, you stupid. Well, who's been helping them with his homework? If you helping him every now and then, and he's going to school being a class clown but got $200 shoes on, well, you calling him stupid, but you ain't really been investing nothing into his education, him or her. Every now and then type thing of helping him or her with their homework or investing a little nugget here or there is not really an investment. An investment is something that you continuously do every day. This is an everyday thing. Every day. You have to let your kids know that you love them. Every day you have to let them know that I'm here for you, but I'm not going to allow you to just do whatever it is that you want to do. Every day you have to make sure that they're doing their homework. Every day, I love you. You're smart. Hey, it's time out for that just go to work. I need you to have a king mindset. I need you to have a queen mindset. I apologize if I have not been that type of mother to you, but I'm going to start because I'm getting the information now. It's not too late. Once your kids see you starting to change, then they'll be willing to change with you. But if they don't see no change within you, they're not going to want to change. You have to keep that in mind. Be careful of who they are around. I don't care if it's family or not. Be careful of who they're around, because understand that bad communication corrupts good manners. And if you're around his uncles who's going to teach him how to be a player, well, we already got too many players out here. We need kings. We need queens. We need we need kids who are going to grow up and develop this mindset that no matter what, I'm going to make some of myself. I'm going to, no matter what I see, I'm going to do the right thing, because this is what was instilled in me. That I'm going to have morals, that I'm going to have values, that I'm not going to seek low to try to earn money. It's not about, okay, well, everybody got to do what they got to do sometimes. No, because people are in an early grade because they had to do what they had to do. You're setting your child up for failure. Everybody, hey, they got to go out there and sell drugs every now and then. Well, then, hey, they get it. No. That's the problem right there. Every now and again, a son went out there and sold drugs and ended up losing his life because he did it every now and then. Versus saying, well, you know what, take the good route. It may be a little longer, but take the good route. Because at the end of the day, you don't have to be worried about the cops following you. At the end of the day, you can know for sure that you ain't been involved in no gangs, you ain't been involved in no criminal activity. Therefore, you don't have nothing to worry about. You don't have to be hanging out with the chickens, okay, when you're an ego. We have to do better as black queens, as black kings. We must do better by our own children. How can a son pull his pants up if he see his father sagging? And the mother allowing the father to sag. So when the teacher say, pull your pants up, what are you going to do? He's going to mimic what he sees his father do. Because the mother the child's mother ain't setting the man straight. Hey, pull your pants up. She accepting it. And so whatever the mother allows that father to do, that's what the son is going to eventually do. So he's going to sag. He's going to think it's okay to cuss a woman out. He's going to think that it's okay that, hey, you know what, I can smoke weed, I can do this, I can cuss around my mother. She too cool. It's all right to be cool, but then you got to set boundaries. I would rather them smoke weed with me than them be smoking weed outside, hey. Because you know what? I don't know who is out there and what they got up in that. But, when he's smoking it with me, that's stupid. That's just crazy. That's crazy thinking. Why not be that better example for your child? Why not be that example to show your kids that you don't have to smoke weed? It's not about being perfect. It's about having a high moral for yourself, having high self-esteem. It's about self-love. Even Christian women and Christian men, learn to build yourself up. You don't have to walk around here with your head all bowed down when you go to church. Fix yourself up. You don't, I mean, yes, be humble, but understand that you don't, there are some times where even Jesus had to identify who he was. You don't have to let people just walk all over you. You have to have boundaries. You have to learn when to say no, because sometimes we give away our blessings. When our blessings, certain blessings wasn't intended for us to give away, but we give them away. Why? Because we just don't know how to say no. We don't have those boundaries. We have to set boundaries for ourselves. If you don't set boundaries, how your kids gonna know what is actually right or wrong if you're not setting boundaries for yourself? Your kids walk all over you. The church walk all over you. Your husband walk all over you. God didn't call you to be no doormat. He called you to be a child of God. He called you to be a queen, a king, not a doormat. Just because you're a servant does not mean that you are a doormat. You serve, but not be used. You serve, but do not allow yourself to be pulled in every direction and don't say no. That's being used. So, people of God, women, ladies, gentlemen, kings, queens, let's do better as within the black community. Let's start looking at every aspect of our child. It's not about, hey, I don't want to be that overly protective, but you have to protect your kids. Even including their mental well-being, because there are too many kids that are growing up with anti-personality disorders. It's not just that they're so different. It's an anti-personality disorder, okay? And it's something that it can be rectified at a younger age if you treat it in time. Too many kids are growing up bipolar. Too many kids are growing up schizophrenic. Too many kids are growing up, with all these different mental illnesses. Why? Because it wasn't dealt with when they were younger. It was looked over. Being a psychopath, a sociopath, it was looked over when they was younger. So now they go out here and they shoot. And the mother cries and, oh, well, he just had some issues. That's an issue that you should have dealt with when they were younger. That means that you're going to have to start educating yourself. As black women and black men, we have to start educating ourselves. We can't just rely on the system to put a pamphlet out there, because that pamphlet is only going to tell you so much. It's not going to tell you everything. You have to learn how to educate yourself. Any other thing you would want to know, you will educate yourself on. You will educate yourself on how to get more money, or what the latest shoes is for your son or your daughter. Educate yourself on the mental aspects. What is my son doing? Be in tune with who you are. Be in tune with your child. I'm so in tune with my daughter that even when she's not around me, I can feel when she's in trouble. Even when she's not around me, I can feel when she's sad. I can feel that when she's depressed. I can feel when something is going on. Even when she's not around me. She could be with her father, and I'll still know exactly what is going on. She could be in school. And that day, I don't even have to be up there. I don't even have to call. But that day, I can know just when she was acting up. That's how tuned I'm in with my daughter. You have to have that open communication with your child. You have to make sure that your child knows that you love them. And I'm very cool. I'm a very cool mother. But at the same time, I lay those boundaries down. We will not do this. You will do your homework. And you will not lie to me. And there's a consequence for every action that you do. There's a consequence, whether good or bad. You have to start teaching these kids when they're little. Because if not, they ain't going to respect you. They're not going to do what you ask them to do. Respect your kids enough to teach them right from wrong. Love your kids enough to teach them right from wrong. Show them how you love yourself. And if you don't love yourself, learn to love you. Because how you expect for someone else to love you if you don't love you? You can't teach your kids how to love you and respect you if you don't know how to love and respect yourself. It's not about the father being in their life now. It's about the mothers coming into that maturity within themselves, learning who they are, regardless if you're young, middle age, or older. Learn to love you. Learn to respect yourself. That way your kids can respect you. They can love you. And whoever else come into your life knows, okay, she or he don't play these type of games. I'm not going to deal with this. I will cut you off in a minute. This is how you have to be able to love you. And you have to be able to have those boundaries set within yourself. We have to do better as a black community. Because if the father walks out today or tomorrow, you're still that child's mother. You still carried that child for 9 months. And to those fathers who walked out on their child, oh, well, she bounced around, or well, she did this. No, it's still shame on you. As long as you had that child social security number, birthday, and name, you could have done some stuff, but you chose not to. Shame on you. And there's no more excuses. None. This is 2021. There's no more excuses about shoulda, coulda, woulda. There's no more. If you walked out, shame on you. You're not a man. You're a little boy in a man's body. Because you sowed a seed that was another life. And you walked out of that life. For your own selfish reasons. I don't care. Well, I didn't have the finances at the time. I didn't have this. She didn't have the finances neither. But you were selfish enough to go say, okay, well, I'm going to do my thing because I can't deal with all that. I'm not where I wanted to be. Well, you should have never been laying up neither. You can't be having pleasures and being broke at the same time. We eliminating all those excuses. You already know how the sex game go. You know if you have sex unprotectedly, you're gonna get a woman pregnant. And if you get her pregnant and you don't take care of your responsibilities, it doesn't matter if she has the child by herself or if she can take care of her by herself. Shame on you for allowing that mother to have to take care of that baby by herself. Shame on you. And then for those men who feel, okay, well, I couldn't get along with the mother, better for me to leave, still shame on you. Because there are always ways around it. You just didn't want to take care of your responsibilities, and so you left like a coward. Don't call yourself a man, call yourself a coward. Because that's just what you did. You cowered out. And there's no type of respect for a man or a boy or a male who's going to cower out of his responsibilities and leave the responsibility solely up on the mother to handle a responsibility that both took pleasure in. If you're not paying child support, see, I was trying to get the child support people. Look at him. If y'all was together, if y'all was married, you would be taking care of the house, right? Ain't no more excuses. You'll take care of another woman, but you won't take care of your child. $200 is nothing to give to a mother. $300 ain't nothing to give to a mother. But because you're not getting anything out of it, huh? Now all of a sudden you want to give what you want to give because, I got to live over here. Well, you can live in the shack as long as that child is taken care of. Oh, well, she going to go and get her nails done. She going to go and take care of the other baby. Ain't none of your business what she getting ready to do with that money. That's the problem. As long as your child is taken care of, and as long as your child is having a roof over their head, and you so worried about making sure that your child has a roof, making sure that they have tennis shoes on and all these other type of things, You need to be there more to make sure that your child isn't having some sort of mental illness. Just sometimes seeing them on the weekend is not enough. And some of you all men, hey, I want to see them, okay. But then you don't contribute no money. You don't contribute. You just as lousy. It takes time and money. You can't go too many places for free. You can go to the park. That's it. But at the end of the day, who's spending out money? Who's making these sacrifices? Your time every blue moon means nothing when this child is studying, saying, I'm hungry. And you can't give a dime. You can't contribute nothing because you don't have nothing to contribute because you won't get your lazy behind up and go out there and get a job. You is just as lousy as that man who done walked out because you want to do the cheap route. Get up. Get your butt a job. Go make something of yourself. It's time out. It is time out for any type of excuses. Well, she's going to spend it on this and she's going to spend it on that. Don't matter what she's doing with that doggone money. What are you doing to contribute? Are you contributing to making sure that their educational needs are met? Huh? Because technically, if you were in a home, you would need to also make sure that you make it to meetings, okay? School meetings. You would also need to make sure that whatever's going on at the doctor's office that you will be involved in, okay? Just because you're married to another woman now doesn't mean that your responsibilities stop at just ends at child support. You still need to be very much an active father. That means that means willing to take time out for work to go and see about your child at school. That means willing to be able to pick the child up from school from time to time. That means you're willing to talk to your child about any and everything and keeping that communication open and making sure that it's healthy between you and that mother. Not running the mother down to the child every time you see that child. And vice versa. The mother shouldn't be running the father down every time she see her child. So yes, fathers, you have more of a responsibility than just paying child support. It's more to it than just paying child support. Yes, the child support contributes to the electric bill. Yes, because your child got to stay there, okay? Your child eat up stuff, okay? And especially if you're a boy or a tall girl, because I know my daughter, she tall. And she can eat up some stuff, all right? So that child support contributes to the lights, the electricity, the heat, the water, the everything else that's in that building, that's in that house or that apartment. That child support goes too. It's not just towards the child. Because if you were, like I said, if you were staying or married to that mother who you actually originally had the child by, you would be helping, contributing to the bills, right? But now you're no longer with her, so you feel like you shouldn't have to contribute to the bills that your child support? No, wrong. That child support contributes to everything in that house. Suck it up. Suck it up. That's just something you just going to have to suck up and realize you got to pay child support. And money is not the only thing that takes care of a child. If you think that money is the only thing that's taking care of a child, you are sadly mistaken. It takes more than just money. You have rich kids out here who have everything, but yet they still blowing people up. Why? Because they have mental issues. Why? Because they grew up in where they got everything that they wanted and no boundaries. So yes, if you are that type of father that believes that, oh, I'm contributing because I pay child support, wrong. You just contributing your money. That's it. You need to contribute your time. You need to contribute your wisdom. You need to do a better job at being better towards yourself. That way you can teach your child how to be better. Okay? Your child, boy or girl, they need to see what a real man looks like. Not just a dumbfounded man who just say, okay, well, you know what, I'm just going to toss my money here and that's it. No, wrong. You need to do better for yourself. so that your child can look up and say, you know what? When I get older, I want to marry somebody that's just like my father. They can be proud of. Not somebody who they can, I don't know, my father, he wasn't even hardly in my life. I don't know. And then they're going around here getting attention from other men. All because you didn't do your job. You paid the child support, that was it. So all they know is got to go get money. Right? Makes sense, right? Because that's all you're doing is just showing them, okay, here go the money. That's it. That's all you're showing them. And if you are a pastor, yep, I'm going down every road. Yep. If you are a pastor, yes, there are certain sacrifices, but you still need to be there for your family. You still need to be there to take care of your kids. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. If you are a pastor and you've been neglecting your wife and your kids, okay, you don't hardly spend any time with them because you're out on the road, you're working 2 jobs here, you come back home just to get enough sleep and go back out. Money is not that important. When it comes to your family, you need to learn how to have a balance. Do not let money kill you, and do not let the ministry kill you. You owe it to yourself and to your kids to make sure that they have a family and know what a family is like, know what a family does. Because some pastors don't know the balance. All they know is church, 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 church. Why? Because they don't want to deal with the issues that are really at home. You need to deal with those issues that are at home. When your wife is unhappy and she started telling you that she's unhappy and you started, well, God said no. God said go be a father to your kids. God said go be a husband to your wife. We got to do better. God bless you.